This conference will now be recorded.
The board has completed its executive session and is back in public session. It is now 12:07 p.m. We go ahead and move into public compliance action. Start with case number 3896.
Case number 3896, I move to issue a notice of proposed action for one violation of OAR 334-040-0010 sub 12, four violations of OAR 334-010-0025 sub 9 for a total civil penalty in the amount of $5,000.
And I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Case 3902.
Case 3902, I move to dismiss this case.
And I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Case 3819.
Case 3819, I move to issue a notice of proposed action for one violation of OAR 334-040-0010 sub 25B for a total civil penalty of $1,000.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Case 3845.
Case 3845, I move to issue a notice of proposed action to issue a letter of concern.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Case 3788.
Case 3788, I move to dismiss.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Case 3778. Carol, I believe that was you.
Case 3788, I move to dismiss.
Case 3778. Case 6.
Hang on. My page is like super out of order. Forgive me. Case
Number 6, 3778, it's on page 5.
page 5, not page 6. All right, hang on. Got it. 3778. I move to issue a notice of proposed action for one violation of ORS 687.021 sub 1A, one violation of ORS 687.021 sub 1B, and one violation of ORS 687.021 sub 1C for a total penalty of $3,000.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Case 3866.
Case 3866, I move to accept voluntary surrender.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Case 3855.
Case 3855, I move to issue a notice of proposed action for one violation of ORS 687.021 sub 1B, 7 violations of ORS 687.021 sub 1C, 1 violation of ORS 687.021 sub 1D, and 1 violation of OAR 334-040-0010 sub 12 for a total civil penalty of $10,000.
Second.
And refer.
Oh, and referred along refer to the appropriate authorities pursuant to ORS 676.177.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Case 3854.
In case 3854, I move to issue a notice of proposed action for one violation of ORS 687.021 sub 1B, 7 violations of ORS 687.021 sub 1C, 1 violation of ORS 687.021 sub 1D, and 1 violation of OAR 334-040-0010 sub 12 for a total civil penalty of $10,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Case 3892.
In case 3892, I move to issue a notice of proposed action for 1 violation of ORS 687.021 sub 1A for a total civil penalty of $1,000.
Melissa?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Case 3844.
Case 3844, I move to issue a notice of proposed action for 1 violation of ORS 687.021 sub 1B, 7 violations of ORS 687.021 sub 1C, 1 violation of OAR 334-040-0010 sub 12 for a total civil penalty of $8,000. And refer to appropriate authorities pursuant to ORS 676.177.
Here, that was 6 violations of 687.021.
Oh, sorry. Shall I read it over?
Just that one, please, the second
All
one.
right. 6 violations of ORS 687.021 sub 1C.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Case 3894.
Case 3894, I move to issue a notice of proposed action for 1 violation of ORS 687.021 sub 1A for a total civil penalty of $1,000.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Case 3900.
Case 3900, I move to issue a notice of proposed action for 1 violation of OAR 334-040-0010 sub 12. 1 violation of OAR 334-040-0010 sub 2. 1 violation of OAR 334-040-0010 sub 19E. 1 violation of OAR 334-040-0010 sub 25F25 for a total civil penalty of $4,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Case 3809.
Case 3809, I move to revoke this license.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Case 3901.
In case 3901, I move to issue a notice of proposed action for 1 violation of ORS 687.021 sub 1B, 9 violations of ORS 687.021 sub 1C, 1 violation of OAR 334-040-0010 sub 12 for a total civil penalty of $11,000.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Case 3859.
Case 3859, I move to issue a notice of proposed action for one violation of ORS 687.0211B, 9 violations of ORS 687.0211C, 1 violation of ORS 687.0211D, 2 violations of OAR 334-040-0010 sub 12, 1 violation of OAR 334-040-0010 sub 11 for a total civil penalty in the amount of $14,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Case 3915.
Case 3915, I move to issue a notice of proposed action for 1 violation of ORS 687.021 sub 1A for a total civil penalty in the amount of $1,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. That ends our public compliance. Moving into public comments. Public comment is limited to matters on the public meeting agenda or otherwise relevant to matters that come before this agency. Comments will not be allowed that are longer than the time allotted by the chair or disruptive to the agency's conduct of its business. Any member of the public who would like to address the board, please turn your camera on. When called upon by the chair, please turn on your microphone and state your name and license number for the record. Please keep comments to 3 minutes or less. I know we have one joining on the phone. Akayate, is anyone else in digitally?
Not that I can see. And we're seeing everybody on
Nope.
Don't see anybody else.
Okay.
Thank you. Chair, Vice Chair, board members, Director. This, I have on the phone Kathleen Carlson, LMT 6019, who submitted the paperwork and information regarding their appeal to the board involving disqualified CEs. You have all the materials and hopefully you've had time to review them. I'd like to now allow Kathy to speak to you. I'm going to put her on speakerphone here. Kathy, you're on speakerphone if you'd like to address the board now.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay, great. Okay, the board turned down 6 supervised CEUs saying that they did not meet the board's criteria because they said it was nutrition and not applicable to my license. I want to defend these CEs as the class not only covered nutrition, but also more importantly, it covered physiology, pathology, and pain. These subjects were also covered in the Oregon Massage Board's mandated courses from the Oregon Health Authority, changing the conversation about pain. Topics covered that in that course were pain, nutrition, and gut health, with a there should a direct relationship between gut health and the brain. And okay, so here's some of the statements that were from that course. Good nutrition can aid digestion and improve your pain and overall health. Okay, it also covers probiotics, which they said it couldn't. The probiotics were food sources, and yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha, and other fermented foods. Okay, their statement, good nutrition can aid digestion and improve your pain and overall health. Nutrition, stress, and pain are directly related. Okay, that was another comment in that board mandated CE. Okay, so better food, I'm nervous. Better food choices can decrease pain and aid in decreasing pain meds. Understanding the relationship food has with your food has can improve your health and pain. The class that I took was more in-depth nutrition, and it was on physiology and pathology of how food works. It's important to get these in-depth information. It's also related, sorry. It's also related, possible to disconnect the relationship. So if the board does not agree that these statements, then how is it that the pain course mandated for LMTs that is focused on the gut-brain biome connection, and that was the name of the course that I took for the gut. And so how it affects pain, and so how can the board deny my CE covering nutrition, its physiology and pathology in its relationship to pain, at the same time mandating a CEU course that covers a lot of the same material? So I would like to, for the board to reconsider my CEs, and also, one other thing is that when I set my stuff in, which was 30th of September, directly after that, I went on vacation. And, I'm 78 years old. I do not carry my phone around and look at it every 5 minutes. I usually stick it in a drawer and I only use it if I need to make a call. So I did not mess with my phone during the time I was on vacation. I got home on the 16th of September. That's when I received the letter. I contacted the board on the 17th of September and have been in close contact ever since. And so I believe that I would like to have my CEs reinstated, and I also would like to have the time frame changed, because I did not get, somewhere in your rules I read that I have that you have 30 days to respond to this from the time you hear from the board. So I did not hear from the board until the 16th, because I got it in the mail and I got back from vacation on that day, and I can prove all this stuff too.
Okay, I'm gonna have to cut in just with time for speaking, and we do have your statement and all of the correspondence documented. At this point, I believe what is going to happen is this is going to be referred to the board member, Melissa Fulfer, who is our CE liaison.
Can you give me her name again, please? I didn't hear you. What was her name?
Melissa Fulfer. It should be listed on the board website. If you need.
And is that with an F?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anything else that we were going to do at this point? She'll be contacted?
Yeah,
regarding
absolutely, yes.
her method?
Yes.
Okay, so.
The only thing I would say is that I believe nutrition is the foundation of health. There you go.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kathy.
Well, thank
Appreciate
you
your
for
time.
listening.
We'll get back to you as soon as Melissa has time to review them.
I told him when he gets back.
Pardon me? Melissa?
I said thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Right.
So will we, as a board, discuss this matter after Melissa reviews it or before?
You can discuss it before I review it.
Well,
At this point.
so I can help out a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so the procedure that we've used in the past is that we have a CE board member that reviews the CEs. So the process is it goes, if our employee who handles the CEs declines them or denies them, then it goes to Jeff, right? And if Jeff declines them and the person still wants to pursue it, then it goes to me. And then if I agree, then it goes to our board liaison, because that we just determined who that was at our last board meeting. So this is a new position. It's been around for a long time, but we have a new person in that position. When that person makes the determination, then if it is also a negative determination, that individual can go to the entire board to have a discussion, and the board makes the decision as a group whether to accept it or not. So that's the procedure we've always had in place for as long as I've been here, and we usually resolve it before it gets to the entire board. Because we had to renew those positions, at least with Melissa, that only happened this last board meeting. So that's the procedure that's always been followed. If we want to continue that procedure, I suggest we do, but you guys can continue however you want to do it.
I think that we ought to follow the procedure we've used in the past and give you time to review that and then.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if Carol seems like she wants to talk about it, I'm up for dialogue about it before I make my decision.
So she could do that now, but we would need to make sure that happens in public session.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just looking to you to see if that's something we can do.
You could do, yeah, you can have it now, you can have the conversation now, or you can do your review and then the case would come back to the board if needed.
It would come back in 2 months for new business.
If it's,
We're good either way.
They concerned with the delay instead of.
His license is already lapsed.
I mean, that is their choice. They could have submitted 6 more CEs.
Yes.
Is it okay if I hear what Carol wants to say now before I make my determination?
Yeah, because it's all part of the.
Yes.
Okay, Carol, what would you like to say before I do this new role in reviewing?
When I read the course materials, I have to say that I agree with the licensee that there was a significant amount of especially physiology and pathology involved in this course. And even though it wasn't a massage course per se, I think it's reasonable for us to know something, in this case, about nutrition, if for no other reason than to know when to refer people to other practitioners who do the things we don't do. And I actually also had a thought about the pain management course that we were all required to take. It had a significant amount of pharmacology in it, and surely we don't prescribe. But again, there is some benefit to us knowing something about maybe the reason. When we take a health history with someone and we ask them, what medications do you take? That can help uncover some health conditions that might not have otherwise disclosed to us. It could be contraindications or a cause for precaution in the work that we do, because then we can ask, well, why do you take this medication? What's it for? So I didn't feel like this course was necessarily a kind of a course where a massage therapist would then be giving people dietary or nutritional advice. But I thought it looked like it had a lot of really good background information that did fall pretty squarely into the realm, particularly of physiology and pathology. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say about it.
I appreciate hearing that. I looked at it in depthly last night myself. And my thought was we approve a lot of the up-ledger courses, and there's a course, the gut is the second brain, and we approve a lot of other things. And if nothing else, the massage therapist themselves has to have good nutrition to do this job. So I thought it was actually very helpful, and I would like to tell Robert to approve this course.
Can I interrupt? Because I want to make sure that we're talking about the same thing.
Me too.
So in the materials that were provided, it is my understanding, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that the page that's titled Understanding the Gut Brain, Stress, Appetite, Digestion, and Mood is the only document in this packet that relates to the CEs in question. The rest of the materials are other CEs that I believe the LMT is using to compare to that, to say that they are similar enough in nature and should be accepted as well. So when you get down to like nutrition clinical handout, the gut microbe and pain, and I'm not certain that that is actually that's from the Oregon Health Authority. I think they're using it to show to try to demonstrate that these are similar in nature, which they may very well be, but this is not the course that they took. The course that they took is just that one section.
Red at the top, understanding the gut.
Yep.
Understanding the gut, brain, stress, appetite, digestion.
That is the materials that we had to judge this by. And the highlighted portions on there in the yellow is what the LMT is highlighting, literally, as being appropriate sections of that course to apply to the CEs. And what I believe they are doing is tying those into other CEs that the board has approved in the past to show that they're similar. And so that's, I just didn't want anybody to misunderstand and think that they took that part of these samples that they provided were part of the course that they took, because they're not, as I understand it.
So that sheet with the red headline does say that this course is for massage therapists, according to the Institute for Brain Potential, is approved as a provider of continuing education by the Illinois Department of Professional Regulation and by the Florida Board of Massage Therapy.
Which is not us.
It's not us, and is not the FSMTB, who normally accredits CEUs.
Or
And-
NCB.
I just want to, back up, they do not accredit CEUs.
Okay.
That's a different organization, but just because they're accredited from an agency like that does not mean they're accepted in Oregon. I just want-
NCBTMB is who I was thinking of then.
Yeah.
So, apologies, that's what I meant to say was NCBTMB, not FSMTB.
And unfortunately, that's misleading oftentimes to LMTs who believe that that means that it's guaranteed to be good in Oregon.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Yep.
Rich, what are you saying over there? Am I allowed to know?
Well, I believe the process of where we're at is that Mitch, they've already been declined, appealed to
you got
Jeff
it,
who
go
said no, Bob who said no, and now they're coming here. So we've already gone through that. Yeah.
And to clarify that, Melissa, I know it's your first time in this new role. We base that decision based on the definition of scope of practice, past denials in history, et cetera. That we have a committee that's been reinstated or is going to be reinstated to review scope of practice and CE issues. And so that may change things. Staff, and I don't want to speak for Director Rootberg, he wants to do what the board wants to do. And we are only holding the line of what the board has done until today. And so don't take our denial as a signal that we can't change. So this truly is up to this board and not up to Jeff or Bob to some extent.
So, yeah, and the other part of that is that this would be a deviation from what the board has approved in the past.
Yes.
The board does not approve this type of CE. So that's why we disapprove it, because we're saying the board has never approved these. So if you do decide to do something like this, then it's going to require, where do we stop with that? So you're gonna have to give us, okay, now we want to include nutrition. Does that all nutrition, anything to do with nutrition whatsoever? If I take a cooking class, about healthy cooking, you would have to give us some parameters, because if that is, this will be a change.
Which nutrition is also not listed in our scope currently.
Correct.
So it would, that's, it starts to get very complicated.
Well, and these are the continuing education topics that the board has accepted in the past. And nutrition is not one of them. I think that this individual was saying that it should go into the physiology part of that. Anatomy and physiology of the human body. That's what I think she was saying. So, like I said, that hasn't been something that we've ever accepted before. And the board went through this, like I said, a long time ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, went through the CEs. And it used to be that the board would accept pretty much anything. If you took a class, the board's going to take it. It doesn't matter what it was. And the board decided that as a health professional regulatory board, we needed to have some guidelines. We're just not going to take everything, because people are giving us classes that were pretty far out there that had nothing to do at all with massage therapy. And so the board, during a 2-day meeting, went through these CEs and said, these are what we're going to accept. And made it very clear and gave us this hard line that Rowena, who initially didn't accept these, knows very well. And so if we change it, then you're going to have to give us some parameters about where you want that to stop.
Bob, if I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the last at least 4 years since I've been here, I think this is the second one I've seen of this. It looks very familiar of this.
It might be.
I know, and we
This
didn't deny it the last
company
time.
does a lot of Cs, and that everything on the left-hand column there is identical on all of them.
And
So, I mean,
maybe that's why, yeah. But I mean, it clearly indicates massage therapists. The ordinance not listed.
But they can market, I mean, that's marketing.
Right.
They don't actually care if it gets accepted or not because they're selling the product.
Right.
But we have a very clear
Yes.
list of things that are accepted, available in Oregon. And so like, the marketing isn't compelling to what our rule is.
Well, I just meant that should have been, oh, I don't see Oregon on there. Maybe I should call the Oregon Board of Massage Therapists and ask them about it.
Yeah,
No, you go directly to the horse's mouth and ask the horse.
and on our website, it does say what CEs are accepted in a bullet pointed or a numbered list. It's itemized what is acceptable. So,
And we do answer those questions
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
routinely.
okay, so at this point, this is complicated. This is something that comes up a lot and is a contentious thing. Is this something that do you want to take back, look at more, flesh out, we come back and?
Well, so
take a
she
vote on
needs to,
this?
so that's the process, right? I don't have the policy in front of me, but the process would be you would on your own make your decision and then it would come back to the board.
Yeah.
Right, if you're saying, so the point of this is not for you to make your decision in this meeting necessarily. So.
Did Kathleen attend the board meeting this morning?
Yes.
She was still just
On the phone.
Okay, so she can tell everybody CEs. We should let her know about that as well.
She gets one.
Okay.
Well, no, I didn't see Kathleen on here. I saw Ashford.
Oh, Ashford, that's right, okay.
She said she called in, was connected, but
Well, maybe she was caller number 2.
yeah, and she could not unmute herself to raise her hand. So that's why she then called the office, and then Christian let us know that she'd like to speak at the second session.
So she was calling, well, I'm assuming she would be.
I think what you're saying, like the process is that you go back, think about it, come back, share, and then we will, if we need to, we go ahead and take a vote
But
on it.
meanwhile, this woman's license is lapsed, so this is all gonna take 2 more months. That's what you're saying.
Unless they want to.
Well, I will offer this, they can take the 6 Cs that they're lacking.
Right.
I'm not inclined under these circumstances they've already paid their late fees that have been assessed. I think we can bypass the re-fingerprint thing and get them unlapsed if they'll turn in those CEs rather quickly. And then if these CEs that are in question are approved, we'll apply them to their next renewal
So you want them to
as
take
carryover.
That's a great compliment.
6 other CEUs that will be approved.
I mean, that's one option. I feel guilty or bad about that too, but it's the LMT's responsibility to get the CEs. And if they were denied initially, like the letter that we sent out that said, these have been denied, and you have until this time frame to submit substitute CEs, they should have been working on that already. And then have this argument afterwards, and then if they prevail with the argument, then we apply those to a future renewal. But now they're going to be lapsed and not able to practice until they either submit 6 substitute CEs or the board approves the ones that were denied.
And they did mention they had 30 days to respond. We're well past that. We're closer to like 50 days at this point.
Well,
They
they
received it at
actually
September.
renewed late, didn't they?
So they paid like, you said they paid a late fee, so therefore, yes.
Yeah, so they didn't even renew on time, allowing themselves that grace period that we provide when the renewals open and when the lapsing happens. And I think they renewed the first of the month that they would lapse in, which means they're late from the get-go, right?
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know if that was the case.
I believe it was.
When you put that.
So sympathetic, but not completely sympathetic. There was a fix.
So I feel like, this does need to go to the next meeting. You ponder it over, bring it back, and we put that on the agenda for the next meeting to make a determination.
Okay.
Okay. If we don't have any more public on there, I can't see it, Kai, do we? Okay.
Andy's still. Andy.
Angie?
Andy.
Andy.
Yeah, person from Seaside or?
Oh, yeah.
The coast.
But nobody who needs to,
Nobody raising their hand?
to speak, so we will go ahead and move into our work item review.
So I have. Real quick. So the board, work item review. The board talked about writing a position statement regarding CEs and to have me come back with a CE discussion topic at the next board meeting. So they're kind of both related. And I think I can provide you with enough materials for both of those to, by the end of the next board meeting, we can have an approved CE discussion and a position statement. So those are the two things that were assigned to me.
And then, Melissa, you're gonna come back with a recommendation on that.
I should not have asked for people's feedback, man.
You have time to mull it over, now you have time.
Okay, yeah.
No pressure. Okay, and I don't have anything else. Was there, anybody have anything else that we're missing? Okay. Go ahead and move into announcements. The next board meeting will be January 27th, 2025 at 9:00 a.m. at the Hampton Inn and Suites in Salem. Of course, the public are invited to join in person or virtually, or by phone. Any other announcements? Okay.
All right.
Pardon me? Brett, you want to go ahead and make sure?
No, he's.
We're good.
Okay. If we have no other announcements, we are ready to adjourn the meeting. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
A second.
All in favor of adjourning the meeting?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned at 12:46 p.m.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to give the impression I was saying something. I'm shaking my head because my head.
Are we?
This